My needs are simple. All I want is someone to squeeze my butt and tell me I'm pretty.
In a recent Patreon episode, my buddy Matt talked about women like this, and he described them as real-world clickbait. You know, clickbait, like really outrageous newspaper headlines or like YouTube thumbnails with super hot people making faces like, and the title's like, never in a million years will you believe that this happens. And it's like, oh my God, that sounds so incredible. That must be so amazing. I just have to click on that thing. But of course, the substance of the content can never live up to that promise, to that hype. And that's what he meant about women like this. They're real world clickbait. Like the first impression is amazing. You go, oh my God, she's so pretty. She looks so amazing. Like there's so much promise, but she's never going to live up to that. You speak to her and you find that she's very vapid and shallow. Lots of women are like that. They've got heaps of makeup and like big boobs. They're showing off lots of skin. And so guys see them. They're like, wow, like this girl's so attractive. I'm so drawn to her. She must be really special and incredible and amazing. So they fall for the clickbait, but then they go and talk to her and they find that she's actually really dumb and like superficial and shallow. There's no depth there. She just wants someone to squeeze her butt and tell her that she's pretty. That's all she needs. These kinds of women are clickbait. Or Matt actually refined his definition to dickbait. In that video for Patreon, we had a discussion about the dangers that men face when they fall for this clickbait, dickbait kind of woman. And Matt opened up about his strategy of going after women that other men typically ignore. And I want to play a short segment from that video.
The best women I've ever met are hard to see. And I can explain this, is that they don't have crazy makeup on. They don't have 70% of their skin showing. Right. They're not swaying and like acting effusive and kind of constantly calling in the attention around them because they're just not interested in that. They're interested in real connections with real people. And then they kind of just want to get on with their day and then go home or go with their friends and do the fun things they want to do. They're not kind of like oozing like engage with me energy like some very specific women that I've met over my life are doing. And so those are the women that I learned to start paying attention to, are the ones that I kind of have to like move some people out of the way and be like, oh, there you are. You know, you're hiding back there with your great qualities, not flashing like a red light.
That discussion continued. You can see the full conversation on Patreon. But as he was talking, I realized that I am exactly the same. We both independently had come to the conclusion that the best dating strategy for us as individual men was to go after the women that other men were ignoring. The way that Matt described it is that he had to train himself out of responding to these clickbait women. He had to learn to override his instincts, learn to ignore these women. And that's what this video is about. It's about teaching you how to do that. So watch this video to the end if you want to master this skill. But another skill that you should master is your ability to raise evil spirits from the underworld while restoring an estate. A lot of men have difficulty with this. And so if you want to get some practice in, learn to develop your skills, then you need to download Baron Samedi Idol Simulator. You can start right now. You can download the game by clicking on the link in the description box below. This game has great graphics and it really tests your skill as you grapple with the mechanics of building a farm, raising evil spirits from the underworld, trying to perfect your management process, hiring workers, upgrading buildings, producing resources. There's so much going on, but at the same time, it's designed to be an easy simulation for new players. It's not meant to be some constant click fest. They've got great features like the automation of your farms so that you're free to focus on making the important decision. That's where the game gets enjoyable, opening different chests, upgrading to new levels. It doesn't even require an internet connection to play. You can use it offline. The farm simulator is completely available without an internet connection. Like I said, there's a link in the description box below so you can download Baron Samedi Idol Simulator right now and start playing. Now, please understand that the reason why you are attracted to clickbait women is not because they're high quality women. It's not even because they're more beautiful than other women. It's because they invite attention. I think I'm going to say that again. I'm going to repeat that because that's probably the most important takeaway from this video. So get this drilled into your head. The reason why you're attracted to clickbait women is not because they're higher quality, and it's not because they're more beautiful than other women. It is because they invite attention. They welcome it. They encourage it. That's the reason. You've probably wondered why some women get lots of attention while others get ignored, even though they're comparable in terms of beauty. Well, this is the difference. It's because some women invite attention and some don't. This is when we steer into slightly dangerous territory. It's a bit controversial to even make this point, because it's not politically correct to actually say that some women are inviting male attention because, in this culture, which lacks all nuance, a lot of people interpret that to mean, oh, are you saying that women deserve like unwanted attention from creepy guys? No, obviously, not saying that. But it's a plain fact, obvious for anybody to see, that some women invite attention. Some women want it. They encourage it. They revel in it. They have a self-esteem and a personality completely based off how much attention they're getting. Back in my younger days, I knew some women who needed male attention like they needed oxygen, like they just die without it. Their ego is completely dependent upon that attention. And that explains why all the makeup, why all the flirty behavior, why they show off so much skin, why they're always touching everybody around them, is to invite all that attention. Too many men are just kind of dumb in this regard. Like, they don't have any sophistication when it comes to their male-female interactions other than just what's being ruled by the sex drive. They see a pretty girl who's inviting attention and they're all in. Those men are her target audience, and that's why she intentionally gives off that vibe that says, hey, I'm here, I'm available, come talk to me, come flirt with me. There's always that suggestion of it's safe for you to hit on me because I'm easy to sleep with, I'm available. She's broadcasting, I'm open for business, but your job is to not fall for it. She's clickbait. Don't click. High quality women aren't like this. They don't crave that kind of attention because they know it's cheap, it's shallow, it's meaningless. But a low quality woman, one of these clickbait, dickbait kind of women, she knows that she has nothing of depth to actually offer. And so she gives up on any possibility of attracting a man who's going to actually respond to her heart and her mind and her character and her values. And she settles for the most surface level attraction that there is, which is the physical. And so she leans into it heavily. She's like, yeah, all right, I know I'm never going to be able to stimulate your mind, so I'll settle for, stimulating your genitals. But it's not fair to be too critical of these kinds of women because men are complicit in it. So many men fall for it. And why would women give up this very lucrative ego boost when they have so many willing customers to buy what she's selling? I find it really disappointing that men are still rewarding women like this, but I also feel a lot of compassion for these guys because I know the place that they're coming from. It's a lot of fear. See, the reason why so many men fall for these clickbait girls is because they're too afraid to actually take control of their own dating life. They're too scared to go after what they want. They're scared of talking to girls. They're scared of getting rejected. They want to preserve their sense of safety, preserve, the fragility of their ego. They don't want to put themselves out there. And so their dating strategy is basically just waiting for some woman to invite that attention, to broadcast, hey, come hit on me. And then they're like, oh, yes, this girl is safe. If you wait for a woman to make the first move, and you're only dating these women who obviously invite attention, then yeah, you're going to be able to preserve your ego. It's a lot safer. You're less likely to be rejected because she's already created the frame. Her whole vibe says, yes, it's okay to flirt with me. It's okay to sexualize me. It's okay to hit on me. I'm clickbait. I want you to click on me. It's so depressing how many stories I've received on Hey Hero from guys who describe what their dating life has been like, what their relationships were like throughout their 20s. And basically the only women they've ever been intimate with are the women who made the first move. So fragile, so scared to ever make that first move that they wait for the woman to play the masculine role. Obviously on Hey Hero, when I'm responding to these guys, I tailor my advice to their unique circumstances. But as just a generalization across the board, fellas, if you're one of these guys who's always waiting for women to send that signal like, hey, I'm interested in your attention, come talk to me, if you're always waiting for her to set the frame, it's not good enough. What are you doing? You're the man. It's your job to be creating that masculine frame. Don't go around clicking on these clickbait women and then complaining that modern women have no substance. Of course they don't. Look at the kind of women that you're going after. If you want substance, then you have to go and seek it. In that Patreon video, Matt talked about learning to ignore all the flashing lights of these dickbait women and instead, pushing them out of the way and finding the women that most men are ignoring because they're kind of invisible. They're a little bit more shy. And that is exactly the same for me. Most guys overlook shy women because they're, captivated by the confident woman who's really out there. But it's all flash and no substance. When you meet enough of those women who are really out there and confident, you realize how shallow they are, how superficial the whole show is. The reason that they're making such a big spectacle because they're trying to distract from the fact that deep down at their core, there's really nothing special. If you look close enough, you realize that she's not really confident or sexy. She's kind of loud, kind of masculine. It's sort of trashy. But that shy girl in the corner who speaks a little bit more softly, that no one's paying attention to. She actually has some grace about her, some dignity, some femininity. That's who you should be pursuing. And lucky for you, not many guys are going after her, so you have very little competition. Most men are still chasing the clickbait, dickbait women. And one of the saddest reasons why men are still falling for that trap is because they want their friends to be jealous of them, right? Like they want a girlfriend who they think everybody secretly wants to be with. And so they're going to be super jealous of him for being the guy to get her. They're all going to admire him. And so he thinks that this clickbait woman is somehow going to elevate his status. If I go for the more shy girl who's a bit more reserved and doesn't give off that ultra sexual vibe, maybe none of my friends are going to be impressed. And I'm not going to be like the big stud man that I imagine myself to be. That's pathetic. I really hope that doesn't describe you. If you're still dating women for the purpose of making your friends jealous and it's not about your actual enjoyment with that individual woman, then you have some growing up to do. There's a new tier of masculinity that you now need to enter into. One where you establish the frame, you take responsibility for what it is that you find attractive and enjoyable in your life. Don't live through the opinions of other people. That's weak. That's pathetic. Don't have a girlfriend because other people would want to date her. Like, fuck that. You find out what you actually enjoy, what is your taste, and then you date a girl even if nobody else sees any merit in her. Other guys think that she's boring, there's no sex appeal, whatever. Let them waste their time with dickbait girls. In the meantime, you're going to be enjoying your life with a woman of actual substance, making real connection and enjoying her presence. As a good follow-on from this, I recently considered what the psychology of a woman is when she's dating men exclusively to get access to his resources. I know I've covered on the channel many times, like that gold digging women and women who treat men as, success objects are really low quality. But actually, what's going on in the mind of a woman who does that? What is her value system? How did she come to be that way? It's the topic of my latest Patreon discussion. And I want to remind everybody that Patreon is one of the 3 ways that you can access my content in a more in-depth fashion. My Patreon's just $5 a month. We have a great community, hundreds of exclusive videos. But if you're looking for specific advice about your dating life and your relationship, then you want to check out Hey Hero. That's where I create personalized videos responding to your stories. And if you really want to challenge yourself, like you feel like you've got a good grasp of this information, but you want to prove it to yourself, I recommend my paid course, 100 Sides of Women. It consists of 10 real stories that people have sent me, along with a bunch of questions where you test your knowledge about what's going on psychologically for the people in the stories. What are their motivations? What actions should they take? There's a 100% money back guarantee on that one. One of the videos is available as a free preview. If you want to see the video that explains the whole course, click on the link in the description box below.